All right, I think we are live. Yep, pretty sure we are. So, good evening for this open chat for this Monday evening, June 11th. Mother Nature faked me out. The weather forecast called for thunderstorms. And anyway, the sun just came out. But that being said, welcome to this open chat. If you are drifting by this, please stop by and say hello. Hello, Noah Bachman, the Linux historian. How are you? And I've been watching, speaking of history, I've been watching a cool show on the life of Nikolai Tesla. What a genius. He was like 100 years ahead of his time. You can thank Tesla for cell phones, wireless charging, AC motors. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Oh my. That's worth a topic for an evening. Pizza loving nerd, how are you? Have you had any pizza today? Sneaky Linux from the UK is in the house. What's up, mate? Greetings. Welcome. Mark Williams, how are you, sir? Welcome. I'm actually streaming this from a fresh install. No pizza. I'm sorry. Let's not talk about food tonight because I don't need any food right now. I actually had a nice steak this evening, a great salad, a little bit of wine. Wine, a little, not the bottle, Tim. Hi, Tim. What's up, man? Tim, when we're done, I need to talk to you privately if you have a chance this evening. If not, later on during the week. Hello, Keegan. How are you? Good morning. You're strictly in the UK. Yes, Terry. If you are in the UK, the Ubuntu Kingdom. Well, it was invented there, right? Yeah, isn't Canonical from the UK? I believe so. Anyway, I just did a fresh install. Two things for this evening. I'm doing this for my French install. Yes, her name is Louise, and she's fantastic. Fresh install, not French. Fresh. I don't think maybe Linux Mint is French. Is it French? I don't know. Anyway, I did a fresh install of Linux Mint 19 Mate. I'll show you here in a second. French. I like French girls, but that's a different topic. A fresh install, and I actually did it stopped rendering in Kdenlive. So I did a to-do list after installing Linux Mint 19. And it looks like we're going to be okay. It's still a beta, but it looks like it's stable enough. Open tomorrow all day, not until Friday. Okay, Tim. All right. But it looks like it's running good. Let me screen share this real quick. So you've probably seen this. I just modified it somewhat, gave it a nice colorful panel there at the top. And what I did, I'm having problems with Kdenlive and Ubuntu Mate. Kdenlive will not work. I don't know what happened after some updates, I guess, but Kdenlive keeps freezing. I cannot, it's unusable. So in my other machine, so I don't know if it's something crashing with the computer, or maybe I need to do a fresh install of Ubuntu Mate in my other machine. But it just happened last night, and finally I gave up. And I mean, I wanted to do a fresh install of Ubuntu, or I'm sorry, Linux Mint Mate anyway. But yeah, I'm going to upload this later, a top 10 list, to-do list after installing Linux Mint 19. So for tonight, I am running this live from the great Linux Mint. Ubuntu started on Isle of Man, so that is in the UK. All right. Sneaky says Mint 19 is probably the best they have come up with so far. It seems good so far, Sneaky. Kdenlive as an app in it image works okay. The founder of Mint from Ireland. I don't know. I want to say France, but I could be wrong. But anyway, tonight I am streaming from um, Mint 19. So hello, Daniel. Welcome, welcome. Um, anyway, I will upload this video later. I had to wait for Kate and Live to render it. It takes forever with outdated hardware. But I think I need to play this back, make sure it's okay. Then you can just check out my top 10 list, personal list, really for newbies, what to do after a Linux Mint 19 install. For those of you who watch this on the replay who are newbies, keep in mind that as of tonight, Linux Mint 19 is still a beta. So be careful, it may crash. Isle of Man is a sort of dependency. Okay, sneaky. Let me get out of this since you guys know what this looks like. So, okay, very good. Enough light, I think so. Mint is from Ireland. Oh, but doesn't the lead developer speak a different language? Sneaky? I think. I don't know. I thought Zorn is from Ireland. Zorn Linux. I don't know. Not that it matters. Is any Linux from Italy? Sabayon, I think, is from it. Hey, the Italian Linux. Now that we have you, don't go running off. You know what? I'm late for a late night appointment with my French lady. Bye. Nah, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Heike from Solus used to work for them. Tara from Ireland. Okay, fair enough, Daniel. Is my mic okay? Looks like it's okay. Tim, give me a second. I can quite a few from Italy. Really? There's a bunch of Linux from Italia? I know Sabayon. I think, right? They do let foreigners into Ireland. It's the luck of the Irish, lad. See what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be something? A New York Irish accent. I don't know where to start. Oh, my. Anyway. Give me a second here. The Linux, sure. Why not? Here we go with food again. Daniel, don't force me to run away and get dinner again. Okay, let's get out of that. I guess a link would help, Tim. Die. All right. There you go, Tim. Elementary number 5.0 mark, probably this summer. Did someone mention July for Solus? I don't know. Hello, Stephen. How are you, sir? I'm going to say July, but I could be wrong. There may be something on the elementary website or their Patreon site. I don't know, to be quite honest. For some reason, July comes in mind. Didn't Still the Irish move from New York to Boston? Hey, what do I know? Hey, I don't follow the Irish that much. See what I'm saying? I like Irish cream in my coffee. Does that count? Hey. Kagan, you hate a New Yorker this evening. Okay. Well, was that a New Yorker hot dog, a steak, a zombie? Anybody else trying out Linux Mint 19? Anybody else got the courage? Well, you don't need that much courage. It's stable enough, I think. Wouldn't that be something if they say they release Linux Mint 20 and it crashed all the time? What would they say? We are so freaking sorry. Anyway, but tonight I'm hoping someone pops in the chat. I wanted to give a shout out to that person personally. I'll wait a few minutes for the main topic for this evening. It was a corned beef pastrami sandwich, but it does kind of sound cannibalistic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would have guessed something with pastrami. I love pastrami. Pastrami, capicola. Hi Tony. Tried on a spare machine. What did you think? Yeah, it's running pretty good for me so far. Like I said, I was having problems with Kden Live at Ubuntu Mate. It keeps crashing like all the time. It keeps freezing. I don't know what. I hope it's not my machine. That's the last thing I need.
What's up, brother?
Tim, how you doing, my man? Good evening.
How are we today?
I'm doing good. And you?
If I was doing any better, my name would be Toss.
Yes, thank you. I like to give good vibes out to the people out there in Minnesota, even though I've never been out there yet.
You know what? It's 10,000 lakes, 50,000 potholes, and 10 million mosquitoes.
Is it really 10,000 lakes, or is that a saying?
It's actually 11,000. I think it's like 10,000 or
Really?
10,800 or 11,000 or something. Yeah.
Wow.
You got to remember, though, in Minnesota, the lake, you could call a small pond where you could use a paddle boat to get from one side to the next in like 30 seconds.
And that's a lake.
Some of those are considered lakes in Minnesota.
Yes. All right. Then I guess that would make sense. I'm thinking like Lake Erie or, big, but okay.
The one really neat thing is in the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area, for those not familiar with Minnesota, Minneapolis and St. Paul are split by the Mississippi River. In Minneapolis proper, the actual the actual city of Minneapolis, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 7 lakes within the city limits. No, 6 lakes within the city limits of Minneapolis. Okay. A little bit of trivia for you out there.
Well, it's got a few bodies of water in Florida where I used to live, but that's a lot of, here in Ohio, we have lots of potholes, and some of those, because of the size, they might be considered lakes.
Toss a fishing line in it and catch dinner, maybe.
Nice. I have to watch because I have to avoid the potholes, not because they're deep, because I don't want to whack any ducks swimming in the potholes. They got to watch.
Yeah. You would ask if anybody was trying Mint 19. I had been playing around with it in a VM. I kind of screwed around with it today.
I did a full install. Stable. Yeah, I did it because my Ubuntu Mate, my Kden Live keeps freezing like all the time. And I don't know if it's my machine or a bug or something. So, I've been meaning to install this anyway, and I did. Cross my fingers as a dual boot. It seems okay, but I don't know what happened with the other one. Just another headache I got to deal with. But like I've been saying, Linux is predictably unpredictable. That's just the reality of it. So, Stephen Anderson, you are using Windows 7 tonight with 4 gigs of RAM, dual core. That's plenty. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just think of Windows as, GNOME Part 2 or something like that,
one of the reasons I downloaded Mint 19 is I had screwed around with Mint 18.3 with the Cinnamon desktop. Yeah. That's what I'm running right now as we're speaking.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And sure. I found I'm kind of a lover of the GNOME desktop. I'm sure that's going to light me up here in the chat, but
it's okay. It's not my favorites. Yeah,
you can actually get GNOME to work really good on Mint 18.3. So I downloaded 19 with the idea that I would like to see if I could get GNOME working on 19 as yet with it in the beta stage. And I was able to get GNOME Classic working in Mint 19, and it had
Okay, cool.
pretty cool,
Yeah, I mean,
but
I tinker with the Ubuntu Gnome. I mean, it's polished. I'll give him credit. It seems to work out of the box. It's not the zippiest. It's not for everybody, but is it polished? It seems that way.
mhm.
So I'll tinker with it. Daniel says, "Do we put salt on the roads in the winter?" No, I prefer a little paprika and Worcestershire sauce. Perfect. No, I don't. Yeah, we put a lot of salt actually on the roads. That's part of the reason why they get messed up. The
Mhm.
real reason is the roads aren't constructed properly. You need to dig underneath the road. I don't know how many feet. Yeah, and you need to put drainage so the water, like in the wintertime, can drain properly. So the water doesn't freeze between the cracks of the road, expands the road into a pothole. You need proper drainage. So whenever they fix the roads, they ain't fixing nothing. Forget about it, you know. Um, let's see here.
They to answer
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Daniel's question, yeah, Minnesota they use, I wouldn't say it's salt, but um it's a chemical of some type.
Yeah.
The thing with Minnesota is compared to like Ohio, you guys in Ohio, you get some below zero temperatures there. I'm sure,
Oh
but
yeah.
I don't know if you guys get them for as long as or as consistent as Minnesota.
They
Maybe just
can
a
last more than days, maybe weeks sometime. Probably
they
not.
can.
They can, rare, but it can happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Wind chill. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It can last weeks. Yeah.
Minnesota, the big problem is that whatever the chemical is that they use on the roads here, it doesn't work below
Mm.
about 10 above.
There is a threshold, right? I have heard
Yep.
of that.
Yep.
Then they got to use something else. I forget what that is, but that is true. Yeah.
And in
Um,
Minnesota, the other problem is we tend to have earlier freezes, especially when you get into the northern
yeah.
part of the state.
Yeah.
We have earlier freezes, later thaws, and of course, when they build the roads,
Yeah.
they have to put a bunch of engineering consideration into effect
Right.
so
Yeah.
far
Yeah.
as what the
Yeah.
frost line is and everything. And I'm sure it's probably that way in Ohio.
Right. Yeah.
Daniel, I think is in Michigan. I think Michigan's the same way, especially in the UP, the Upper Peninsula.
Well, they'll mix salt. I want to say ash. Maybe it's not ash. I'm not sure what it is, but they'll mix it up, you know. But here we have to watch because of the hills. That's where it can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Anselm says mag chloride. That's what they mix. Okay. Know what that is, but sounds dangerous. Um, I remember one time years ago, my cousin, I think I mentioned this, he was driving up a hill. He had just put two new snow tires on their rear wheel drive Toyota Tacoma truck. Was recommended by a tire place downtown, and they said, just try these tires. If you don't like them, come back. We'll take them off. He had left the pool. There's like an indoor facility pool. You pay by the year or whatever. He left a snowstorm. He's driving up the hill in this little four-cylinder Tacoma, straight as an arrow. SUVs left and right, up and down, spinning because they got the wrong tires. But
Yep.
he's straight as an arrow, not a problem. The soft rubber, it grips the road, and they're good for like 20, 25,000 miles, and that's it. But because the rubber gripped the road, he had no problem. He said, these other trucks, forget about it, you know. So there you go. Tires
Yep.
matter. Absolutely.
Big,
Tire. Yeah.
big time. Big time. Steve Anderson asks how far from Karlstad. About 200 miles or so. Karlstad is way up there in Minnesota. It's
Okay.
probably definitely for sure within 100 miles of the border with Canada, and I'm thinking it's probably more like about 40 or 50 maybe.
Okay.
So, real small town when you get into northern Minnesota above when you get up in northern Minnesota more to the west of the state towards
Yeah.
the North Dakota border and then north towards Canada, it's a lot of trees and a lot of towns.
Linux historian says, do I prefer pie or cake? Anything with cheesecake mixed in is fine. So there's your answer. Hello, Linux laptop. Good evening. Yeah, anything.
I can turn you on to a good one that we got introduced to last night.
Ooh.
Do you have an Outback Steakhouse close to you?
No, not really.
You don't. Okay.
Mm.
Well, they have a dark or deep chocolate strawberry mousse cake slash cheesecake. It's regular cake with harder strawberry mousse, like a cheesecake in it. It was pretty
Mm.
okay.
Welcome to Cavities OS.
Yep.
Oh my. Um, Mark, you need help with Linux Mint 19 because you cannot install it on your desktop, but it is working on my Linux Mint 19. Huh? Hmm? What? You installed it?
You must have got it working on a laptop, maybe.
I don't know. It sounds like contradiction there, Mark. What exactly is going on?
Mark, if you can reply back, let us know. Let
Yeah,
us
I
know
did.
that.
I did the way I did it. I created some free space in my Windows partition. I don't generally recommend that for newbies, although it's not that hard. And I do have a tutorial on that. I need to upload one of these days. But okay, we have remove. Um, I created a free space in my Windows partition. When I log into Linux Mint, it did recognize my Windows partition and it says, would you like to install Linux Mint alongside Windows? I went to where it says, I think it choose something else. And I used the free space to install Mint. I just created two partitions, swap and a root mount, with the / mount.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
it. That's all you can do a home partition. I don't do that. Now that's what I did. Now, of course, I make sure I had backed up all my files and folders. That's
Mhm.
how I did it. Um,
If it's a newer desktop, Mark, specifically if it's a Dell,
yeah.
yeah, he says he's got Mint 19 on his laptop.
Okay.
Some desktop, specifically Dell, and especially if it's new,
Yeah.
there's some farting around you have to do with the.
Yeah.
It has something to do with secure boot and some
Yeah.
other things that are wrapped around secure boot. Um, what you can do, Mark, is if you're having problems installing on a specific machine, hit
Yeah.
up the Mint forums.
Yeah.
They are by far one of the best forums out there, and they do have a newbie section as well as an installation
Mm-hmm.
section,
Mm-hmm.
and they're really good. I don't know how many times you've been on it on the Mint forum, Toss, but
I haven't had to go there for a while, but when I have, it seemed fine. I think the Mint forum is fine. I think the Ubuntu Mate forum is
yep,
fine. A
yep.
couple times on Zorn on the way back, I think it was okay. I've been
Mhm.
pretty lucky with. I mean, I know the Linux community can be hostile at times, at least in the past, but I've been very lucky. Um,
Yeah, it's a Dell
you know,
desktop.
yeah. Um,
Steve Anderson says my grandma and grandpa are from Carlstad, and they told me temps of 40 to 50 degrees below zero. Yep.
yes, yes.
Yep.
Um,
Northern Minnesota can get that cold, folks.
yeah. By the way, all you trolls out there tonight, don't waste your time. Just don't. I'm from New York, man. You can't, there's nothing that you can do or say that'll offend me. And because this is a family channel, there's so many things I want to reply to a couple of you idiots out there, but I won't do it, you know. But I don't want to scar you for life. So,
Yep.
I'm just gonna don't waste your time.
Yeah, don't
Try it
waste it.
somebody else, somewhere else, if you so choose to.
Hey, Mark, one thing when you go to the looks like, yeah, not a problem. Glad to point you that way. If you go to the Mint forum, one thing make sure you do, give as much machine specific information
Yeah.
as you
Yes.
possibly can
Yeah.
starting out. That's going to speed things up drastically for you, my friend.
Yeah. Um, I was hoping somebody specific would jump on tonight, but of course this wasn't scheduled. This weekend, I don't think I'll be doing anything Saturday and Sunday. This week we have a combination Greek festival, speaking of food, and the yearly D. Martin Festival.
Oh
You should be here, Tim. You would love it. You
man,
should
oh
be
man,
here. I should have mentioned it to you last month. Maybe you could have made arrangements. I would have been happy
Yeah,
to pick you up at the airport, but
I
or
probably would have been able to if
yeah,
with enough warning.
yeah. I just dawned on me now, dude. As much as we've been talking, it just and you had mentioned that you've heard the D Martin Fest, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, Heather. But if I remember, I'll shoot
Hi,
some
Heather.
video. I'll shoot some video and share it on the channel. I believe tomorrow starts the Greek Fest through Thursday or Friday. Thursday starts the Dean Martin Festival through Sunday. Now, Dean Martin's daughter will not be in this year, from what I heard, but a someone from New York is popping in. Who I need to talk to him. Who likes my dad's movie?
Cool.
I was able to show him the whole thing. But I don't think I'll be doing anything. It's subject to change, but I don't think I'll be doing anything Friday or Saturday, as far as I know. If I do something Friday, it'll be like after 11 p.m. or after 12 p.m. And I don't mind doing the late shows if I'm not tired, because this will give people in other time zones a chance to come in and say hi. But as far as I know, the 10 o'clock thing this Friday is out as far as I know. But that's subject to change. So
Doing the late night stuff is kind of neat because then you can snag English Bob, and you can generally get
yeah,
Colin.
because if it's 12, say they're 6 hours ahead or more, that's 6 a.m. Some of them might be up. I mean, I don't know. I've done a couple overnight Linux shows, I call them, and you'd be surprised people do jump on. I don't do a lot of those because it is kind of tiring for me, especially if I come back from a party, this weekend. But anyway, I okay. I wanted to give I don't think that person came in the chat. Rob, is it? I think his name is Rob Red Robo's Workshop. I think it's called. He is the first, and the first one's always special. He is the first patron on my new Patreon page. I wanted to give him a shout out because he's the first one. He's number one.
Awesome.
And Rob, if you watch this, thank you. Somebody mentioned maybe a reward could be if somebody gives $10 a month, give them a shout out. I'm going to do the shout outs to everybody if if I can, because I just think it's the right thing to do. But Rob, thank you. You're the first one. All the links are below in the show notes, by the way, if you want to join that community. And he's the first one, so I wanted to give a special shout out. Sometimes we'll catch people here at random times, but by request, the Patreon page is back up. I think I put 6 levels of what they call memberships or rewards. Honestly, doing more live shows, connecting with you guys, I can't think of any greater reward, for what they're called. But anyway, check out the links below. If you don't like Patreon, I get it. There's PayPal. For those of you who want to sponsor a live show, shoot me an email first. And you don't have to make it a monthly thing. You can just shoot a contribution through PayPal to sponsor one show. Thank you, Bart, for the super chat. Yes, you can also contribute with super chat. Thank you, Bart. Anthony, yes, I got your email. It's a very good topic. And I think, Anthony, because the topic is good, you're going to sponsor that topic for free. That's how much I believe in that topic. I don't think it'll be this weekend. But that was a good topic. I'll get back to you by next week. If I don't, just let me know again. But that's an excellent topic. I think we mentioned it last week about social media and cyberbullying and stuff like that. But that is such a good topic. I'm going to host that for free, and you're welcome to join on that stream. It's not required, but that is a good topic. My son now is grown up. He's not a little kid no more. He's going to start college. I suppose it's possible to be bullied in college. I suppose it's possible. I don't know. Thank you, Bart. Thank you again. That's very kind of you.
It's possible to be bullied just about anywhere nowadays.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. It's funny, Bart, that video got remonetized over the weekend. I don't know if it's because I threatened to call Uncle Guido in Sicily.
Here
I
goes this
don't.
one.
There goes this. I'm just saying. I don't know. But anyway,
Last
thank
Friday,
you.
last Friday's show was with
Well, it
all,
was
it,
weird.
it was fun. It was
It was
absolutely fun.
it was high tech Bismo. Thank you, Daniel. Nice spread on Patreon. Yeah, I did it, DT. I should have like a golf R the three. Like I should have, for $5 a month, that's the Fredo level. For $10 is the Sonny Corleone. For 20 or whatever, it's Michael. And the golf R the level is like $100 a month. I said that's actually pretty slick, but it's not family friendly. But I liked it. So DT Distro 2, thank you for making me laugh.
So
You
if,
you
so
yeah.
if somebody sends you a check in the mail and it bounces, they end up with a horse's head.
The horse's head. So I love people who have a more wicked humor than I do. So DT, if you haven't already, check out DistroTube's channel. Awesome channel. No, but the funny thing about Friday night stream, I got demonetized before I even said a word. I didn't say anything, and I looked up like, why is that not the right color for monetization? It got demonetized. I didn't say anything. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not that fearful of a guy, am I?
I
It's
don't know.
YouTube. It's the Autobots or the
You start you
Decepticons.
you start talking about the caddy trunk and Uncle Guido, and you throw in a
Yeah,
couple of forget
well, I
about it.
think that was the kicker. That's what said,
Yep.
"Holy crap, he really is Italian." You're monetized. Don't worry about
Yeah. Did
it.
that ever did that stay demonetized? They didn't.
I noticed it. I think Sunday. Yeah, I noticed because we did it what Friday. I noticed it like it came up green.
On Sunday.
Yeah, I did. I did change. I took the TTIF out, but I had it the week before now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because since I took the TTI, maybe the other was TTIT. Who the heck knows? YouTube took a wrong turn down Toss Street. Yeah, you don't want to cross me. Will they demonetize the next one? I'm hoping for the day I can just turn off YouTube ads. Don't worry about it. Say forget about it. You know. I got 2 thumbs down. Yes, that is a Daniel. I got 2 thumbs. I haven't been on very long. Yes, that is a standard on this channel. Actually, one of those was my own because I like to keep things consistent. No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh, let me go back and change mine then.
yeah, go ahead. I mean, see, if it's only like 30 likes and no dislikes, it looks like it's fixed. So will please somebody give a dislike. Do me a favor so it looks more real.
As I'm looking at it right now,
Yeah.
we've got 19 people watching and we only have 7 thumbs up. Let's
Okay.
get over there, guys.
That's right. Get over there because I
Get over
got
there
the
and do a
caddy
thumbs
fixed
up.
today. I got it nice and oiled and cleaned out. I'm gonna tell you, those blood stains are unbelievable. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. YouTube is just a bit getting picky. Well, Heather, look, I know what they had to do. I know, and I don't entirely blame them. When I'm doing this over 8 years, and I was seeing content, a lot of content on YouTube that was not following YouTube guidelines. And you guys know what it is. You talk about different types of religion, left versus right, politics, this and that. It was like, why are they making money off this garbage? And I'm sorry, that's how I see it. Finally, YouTube put their foot down. They said, these are our guidelines, and we're going to enforce them. The problem is they took one full axe and just axed about everybody, everybody's AdSense, including mine. I didn't do anything. But it's like getting caught up in the storm. You're driving away from a tornado or a thunderstorm, but you're driving too slow, and bam, it hits you. And that's what happened. And I get it. Part of it was my fault. I saw it coming in the way. I didn't think it would be that bad. But what are you going to do? So I'm here to adjust. There was another content creator who not only shut off ads, but promotes ad blockers because of YouTube. Promotes ad blockers. Okay. Yeah, I shut off the ad blockers on YouTube to help other YouTubers. I'm not saying you do. I completely understand if you don't want to have ads. But for my channel, the AdSense right now is paying the Comcast bill, and it helps. You
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, no, you know, ad blockers. I completely understand. You know, yes, Google does own YouTube. That is correct. Sometimes YouTube bots have a bad day and demonetize everything. Oh, poor babies.
Yeah.
And it ain't helping me out. Um, but anyway, that's what happened with YouTube because I was cruising along nicely as far as the AdSense rate. When I passed 2,000 subscribers, I was making averaging about a couple $100 a month. It's not bad, really. Think about the progression of the subscriber versus the AdSense ratio, as it were. Then all of a sudden, bam, it came crashing. I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? Well, I didn't do anything, and that was the problem. I didn't do anything.
Where are you at for subscribers right now, Toss?
9489, 90 somewhere around there.
Cool.
If there's one thing I've learned about YouTube, subscribers matter, but subscribers does not necessarily equal AdSense revenue. If there's one thing I learned, there was a channel, and he was, and I had mentioned this, he was pushing 1 million subscribers and practically had a beg for Patreon. 1 million subscribers,
Mm-hmm.
and he almost didn't make it. You know, I won't mention the name, but it wasn't an offensive channel. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yep.
He had 1 million. He had 900,000 plus subs. A young man out of, I think, from Ohio. Unusual type of content, and he had to beg for Patreon. Literally, almost beg. That opened my eyes. So subscribers matter,
Yep.
but it doesn't necessarily mean financial foundation. If that makes any sense. So.
Yep. Perfectly.
So let's look at some of my ads. Feel free to. How do good people like you get demonetized by channels like Cut, the sexualized Kagan? It's what YouTube is trying to do. Look, there's two sides to a story, and you have to think that way. You know, what they did was perhaps they overreacted. But you know, what's the point of, you know, moaning and complaining and ranting? And we've all done that at YouTube when they're trying to make things better. Now, I have noticed the AdSense revenue somewhat stabilized. It's still only about a third of where it should be. But they had to do something. They were losing advertisers. Almost $1 billion worth were at stake.
Yep.
So
And
I understand.
that's a fine line for a company to run. You know, you got to bring in the ad revenue.
They had to do something, and I get it. Now, the people who are smarter than me, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, they saw it coming years before, and so they jumped on PayPal before. They jumped on the Patreon and GoFundMe, whatever is out there. They did it years before this crap started. They're surviving and they're doing fine. I got in late, you know, because I'm not good at that stuff. I'm good at connecting with you guys. I'm not good at this financial stuff. I just wasn't. That's just not who I am, you know. But you know, it is what it is. So Anthony says, because your subs love you. Thank you. That's very kind. And I love those Subway sandwiches also. Sometimes subscribers aren't views. People subscribe, watch a view, then wander off. That is true. That is true. And that's why having subs does not necessarily equal, you know, does not negate financial quicksand, as it were.
Yep.
You need to have people engaged, not just chatting, but, you know, contributing. Even if everybody who watched gave 25 cents a month, I know it's hard to believe that would finance the channel. I could upgrade the office and everything. That's not the reality of it, of course. But
Daniel Kovac says you need a manager, Toss.
Manager. Well, I'm managing this myself, okay? Look, if my dad sells his flick, I won't have to worry about any of this. You know, he did call me today, by the way. Yeah.
You better make sure that if your dad does sell that movie, that you don't go and run off and disappear on us now.
Well, I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years, so do I have your permission to take some time off if he sells
You
the movie?
know, we might let you take maybe a
Oh,
maybe a 3 or 4 day
thanks,
weekend.
Daddy. PewDiePie is a good example. Yeah, well, I guess he said a few things he should not have said, and but he made his money way before the nonsense started, so he's
Yep.
fine. Yeah, yeah, and I don't think he's intentionally a moron. If I had to guess, I like to give people the benefit of the doubts, but anyway, get some of that money out there. I need to get it in here, you know. I already fixed this chair once. It kept sinking. I had to improvise and cut a piece of plastic plumbing piping, like 6 inches or so, put it on the stem so the chair doesn't sink, you know. But do what you got to do.
Heather has a good question there. Where does the money um, go for the people that give to the channels? I think is what she's trying to ask there.
Well, let me give an
Kind of.
example. Let me give an example. Somebody who's more, I guess, famous, for lack of a better word, than I am. Brian Lunduke needs the money because he's expanding. He wants to do stuff in front of a live audience. That's expensive. That
Yep.
is expensive. He says I think his goal was 4,000 a month. Personally, I don't think he can do for 4,000. Not even close. But God bless him if he could, because now you need multiple cameras,
Yep.
lighting, seating, maybe bodyguards, security. I mean, I don't know. You need to think ahead. So the money goes to growing a channel, developing a name, a brand that people trust. If that helps, Heather, but it goes usually back. I'm hoping people are not doing it to take the money and then run off. I haven't seen that, you know, but that's just an example.
Yep.
You know, Kagan, you're going to St. Augustine, July. It's beautiful down there. Yes. Um, so Heather, I hope that answers your question as an example. But yeah, this chair I bought 5, 6 years ago. I fixed it, but now it's getting kind of wobbly. I mean, I messed up my back 6 years ago, and I know it's only a matter of time, but can't do it. EB is doing upgrades. Yeah, it would be towards the upgrade for a computer. Somebody asked if I would consider doing this full time. That's an honor to be even asked. And I replied, yes, I would consider doing this full time. Now that my son has grown up and doesn't really need me, I got a lot of time and I'm lonely. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, Heather, that's where the money goes to usually, as far as I know. I would hope that people who are very successful, like a PewDiePie or what, I would hope they would donate and give to organizations like Children's Hospital or stuff like that, and do the right thing. That's what I would do, and I would sleep better at night. The more YouTube you do, the less you can work, and the less money you make. Thus, you need the revenue to be able to afford make. Yeah, Anthony, it is kind of a catch-22. I mean, I know I could have improved the quality of the camera, lighting. I need a faster computer, but it is a catch-20. You need the revenue to improve the quality. Although I think these streams are okay, but look, there's a difference between $100 camera and $1,000 camera. That's all there is to it. So yes, on the analytics, YouTube Red does help, Stephen. YouTube takes their cut. The easiest thing on my end, or the fastest thing, is through PayPal, because I noticed that immediately. I get an email and I usually reply that day or the next day or that night. Um, the one reason, one of the reasons why, because I had started Patreon twice ago, if that makes any sense, but I got off because I wasn't sure if it was legit. So I got off. I went back on because one of my subscribers says, no, Toss, it's legit. Go back on. So I did. But then I jumped off again because of the politics last year, which they decided not to do. And I'm grateful for that. Timo, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, sir?
Hi there, Tim.
Sorry I've been on, very busy. No need to apologize, Tim. A lot of miles again. I'll definitely be donating some more. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So that's why I've been off and on with Patreon. If it's something I'm not comfortable with, or if I think is a ripoff, and I'm not saying Patreon is, it's not. That's why I jumped off. I didn't feel comfortable, but I should have done more research. That was my fault. But yes, I think 720p is okay. Yeah, I would have to agree, Tony. 1080p would be better. That should be the new standard. I would have to upgrade Comcast. I mean, it all adds up. I just can't do it, um, at least not now. Yeah, I don't think, Daniel, that 4K is necessary. If I was doing something live on location, I think it would be nice to have 4K, but then you got to have a faster $2,000 computer to edit all that. So
Yeah.
again, it's catch 22.
You upgrade one piece, you have to upgrade another
You
piece.
really, really do. Right,
Yep.
right. I mean, if I get a 4K camera, I don't think $1,000 PC is going to cut it, unless I get like a refurbished used one. But uh, there's no question that 4K. There's someone on YouTube who's transitioned to 4K, but he's done very well for himself. It looks wonderful, but he's got state of the art equipment, and you need that. Um,
Isn't
yeah, yeah.
Duke's on 4K, isn't he?
I don't know. I think he's on 1080p, which is fine.
Yep.
You know, I'm trying to think. Marquise Brownlee, I think is his name. Young guy.
Okay.
He does 4K, and it looks wonderful. But he has Star Trek stuff, and he needs it. He's got terabytes of servers and hard drives to keep all that stuff. Remember, it's 4 times the information
4 times.
resolution. So that's why I think 1080p is a good medium. 720p is the 720p is the bare minimum, in my opinion. Um, he does 8K. Ooh, Linus Tech Tips. Well, he's got 6 million people give him money, so But 8K, wow, okay. Now I still have some of my blogs. I use this old $60 720p camera I bought like 7 years ago. That still works. Lightweight, it does the job. You know, SD
That's the
card.
one. That's the
Yeah.
one you use in the car, isn't it?
No,
Wes?
that I use the flip. You remember the flip video? A while back. That one does full 1080p video and audio.
Okay.
That's what I use in the car. This one
Okay.
I to carry around because if I drop it and break it, I don't care. Now the other one that was a $250 camera, but I got it refurbished for like less than $100. That one I
Cool.
want to hold on to. Fits in my pocket. It takes rechargeable or AAA batteries, which is awesome. And it's full 1080p, and it's nothing fancy. Just hit the red button, on or off. That's why that I want to hold on to. This one I don't care. It's just the cheap 720p.
Gotcha.
I've done a few with these, and it's okay. But the other one I use the car vlogs. I'll use the other one. Yes, MKBHD Tux 13. That is true. Yes, that's who that is. He does 4K, and it's good stuff. Marcus said I have a good red weapon with 8K, 50K each cameras. Each camera is 50,000. Are we talking money here? Anyway, but yeah, I wouldn't need 8K, that's for sure. 4K outside live, maybe if I had the right equipment to edit it, and only then. So $50,000 cameras, I would believe it. Yeah. There's a great channel called Category 5 Technology TV out of Canada, and they've done a magnificent professional job on a budget. Absolutely superb. Now, when I say a budget, I think they make, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars a year, which is nothing in this business, but they've done a tremendous job. So check out Cat 5 Technology TV out of Canada. Daniel says, how many imperfections on someone's face do we really need to see?
That
I
was
don't know.
that was
How many?
that was Tony's comment up above that. 4K might be a big dodgy without makeup.
True, true, true. At least with this 720p cam, you can't see. Well, I don't have any imperfections, I don't think, but some gray hairs which you can't see. That's sometimes I will color this because I think it looks better on camera, but that's as far as I go. I mean, one of these days I'll shock you and make it blonde, and you'll say, "God, Toss is flipped. Send us some money for a psychologist."
We knew it. He isn't Italian. He's a Swede. All along, he's Swedish.
Okay. I admit my name is Sven from Sweden. Yes, Anthony, Canada. Yes. I got relatives in Montreal. Put some grease on the lens of the 8K camera to blur the imperfections. Yes. Yes. Or you can just do this. Okay, for today's topic, give me 5.
Yep.
Not too keen on the previous. Oh yeah, the yellow tint, Tony. That was that night I had problems with the camera. It was like yellow tintish. Yeah, I like special effects, but not that kind. No.
Yeah, when you were having that camera problem that night, it looked like your liver had failed. Too much vino.
I know, man. Too freaking vino, man. I love wine. Shall have some tonight before I go to bed. Toss, if done right, you can make a good fake spat treat. Alrighty then. Welcome back for the Sunday night. No, he just has that voice. Just, you know. See, I've been blessed with the radio voice or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I use. You know, sometimes I'll do my Arnold and you know, it's good to be here in California.
I've been blessed with a face for radio.
Because nobody can see it. Tux Digital. My Tux Digital has a hair ISO. Either I'm not sure I know what you mean. Hello, Toss and everyone. I think your show, this is from Maverick, your show is fine at 720p. With so many devices hooked on the internet, I think a few people can view streaming 1080p without having. Well, it does. It's not just the higher quality camera. I think improves it across the board, not just the 1080p resolution. From what I've seen, I mean, this is acceptable for a friendly chat, but is this professional? Probably not. But you know, for what we do, I think it's fine. You know. I know. Yeah. Steven says, kid, you will watch TV with rabbit ears. I remember the 70s. And the ABC movie of the week.
We used to have a remote.
The rabbit ears. Yeah.
We used to have a remote control TV in my house as a kid that whenever we lived on a corner lot and a Minneapolis city bus went up and down the street.
Yeah.
Whenever the bus would drive by, it would change the channels on the TV.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
Okay.
The remote control did nothing but move the channels up. You couldn't go down. And the remote control, here's my smartphone.
Yeah.
The remote control was about as big as this, but it was about 4 times thicker. So,
yeah. Back then, Zenith had something called Space Command. I used to call the remote Space Command. Ooh. It's a Logitech camera. Does it have manual balance and order? I think. I'm not going to mess with it now because it's working, but I think it has something. Daniel says, live from New York City, it's a Total OS show with special guest Tim. Yeah, right. I kind of like them. Maybe one of these days I'll do a live show from New York and surprise you guys. You know,
Toss is the guy.
It's good to be freaking here in Brooklyn. Let me tell you.
Toss is the guy sitting behind the desk, and I'm the wisecracker that's over leading the band.
Anas, welcome Anas. We're talking fine resolutions here, watching 360. Yeah, on mobile, 360 is fine. Yes. Yeah, that is true. Yes. Webcam on the ThinkPad.
Heather said Tux Digital needs 4K to see if his hair is out of place.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Hi, Mikey.
You'd have to say this about Tux Digital. He is always groomed to his best.
Yes, he is. He is so stoic. He just gets on there. Okay. I mean, he's not going to be like flamboyant personality cracking. I don't see him doing news and nonsense. It's just not who he is, which is fine because he knows his stuff. You know, I mean, I don't see him doing an impersonation of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just don't see it, you know. Um, yeah, most people probably do watch YouTube on their handheld. So 4K and even 1080p is considered overkill. Can you imagine the data usage
Usage, yeah.
on AT&T or Verizon? Ooh,
I probably watch, other than doing this with you,
yeah,
and maybe just a couple of little things. I watched English Bob today when I was sitting
yeah,
around
yeah,
doing
yeah,
some,
yeah,
but I probably spend 70 to easily 80% of my time
yeah.
on YouTube
Okay,
on
yeah,
my phone
sure. Because
rather
it's
than my
right there.
computer.
It's
It's right
right.
there.
You don't have to go to your TV, turn on the desktop, do this, boom, it's right there. And that's what I
Yep.
use in bed to catch up. Anthony says, "Are you rich enough to have a 4K monitor, or are you normal?" I am rich enough to have a broken chair that I fixed. I actually fixed it. I fixed it for $1.97 or something. So check out that video.
Was there any duct tape involved?
No, no,
No duct tape
no
involved?
duct tape. No, this is one of the few times we did not use. Yeah, I'm sure that would have helped. Sure. Let me
Well,
just tape it up.
is there a pair of vice grips permanently attached to the chair?
No, I did think about it. I said, nah, nah. I used the piping. Um, that you go to Lowe's, they cut it. It was the plastic kind, a PVC. Cut it, put it in the slot where the piston's at. A couple clamps.
There you
You know
go.
what? It's wobbly. I got to watch, but it works. So there you go. YouTube on a budget. See, it can be
So,
done. I
so
don't recommend it, but it can be done.
If Toss tips over, you got to hit his PayPal account to get him a new chair.
Yes, yes. If I go, hey there, whoa, whoa, I'll be like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yep.
Yeah, people are just falling over for this channel. Ha ha. Nobody dresses up anymore. Should I wear a tuxedo on the next show? Good evening. I remember the VHS and try. Yeah, sure. Manual tracking on VHS. You know you're a real man when you fix your own stuff. No, I think I would be a real man if I would order my new chair next week. That's I would feel real. You stream YouTube to your TV from your desktop computer. Okay. Whatever works, man. Ben, you want to join? Okay. I won't be on too late tonight, but you could join. Give me a second. Go here. Let's see. I think that's it. All right. Mavericks, let me get out of this. All right. Maverick says, I enjoyed your live streaming from that old Pentium. That was a Pentium M. Is it possible you can do a live chat with a mini DV connector via Firewire? It's probably possible. I did a live streaming from that ThinkPad M with less than a gig of RAM. Peppermint OS. It wasn't exactly smooth, but it was smooth enough.
You only did audio on that one, though, didn't you?
Yes, I did not hook up. I don't think it would. Maybe I should try with the webcam. I don't know what would happen. It'll probably freeze like, hello, welcome. That would be like, hello, welcome. It would be like buffered like this, but I don't know. But yeah, hats off to ThinkPads and Peppermint.
Okay.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, guys.
Hey, you fixed the audio. My video helped.
Yes, but I'm on a different computer.
Okay.
I'm on my tower, and it's running 8.1 and not Windows 10.
Same principle. The same adjustment,
so
yeah.
The microphone that I'm using is actually built into my webcam, but
okay.
I also did upgrade to the latest Windows 10 build on my laptop, so hopefully that will also help. But nonetheless, yeah, TJ Wolf and I made a new Unity Ubuntu 18.04 respin, so yeah.
And you can do a lot with Linux.
Yeah.
Anthony says, I deserve more subs. See, right now, Anthony, when you say subs, I'm thinking of Subway sandwiches. I don't know why. But thank you, Anthony.
Didn't I hear you something about eating a steak shortly before you got on
I ate dinner this evening, but we had a few comments it's like food triggers the endorphins to say eat. I'm
You're gonna
Italian.
be
What?
you're gonna
God,
be digging in the icebox before we know it.
God, man, I'm gonna have to order a chip that'll support like 600 pounds or
Yeah.
something. You know.
So my dad's Lenovo came in today,
Nice.
but we haven't unboxed it yet because he's not home. So he won't be home till Thursday, and he wants it to be a father-son kind of thing. So,
That's nice. Warning, good people is in the house. Well, no warning to you. Welcome. He says, do you think there really are planets that are 22 million light years away and NASA can't see them? Yes, I think with the technology, I think they're not telling us everything. Those are called exoplanets. It doesn't mean there is life. But yes, I do believe they can fairly estimate what's going on.
But it doesn't. On the flip side, it doesn't mean that there is not life as well, right?
It can go either way. It could go either way. Yeah, I don't think personally. I don't think we're alone. I mentioned Tesla, the great scientist Tesla. 100 years ago, he predicted or he envisioned cell phones, AC motors, wireless charging. This was 100 years ago, and he was stifled. Imagine someone today, 100 years, thinking 100 years from now. You think there is no warp drive in theory now to be produced years from now? Of course there is.
Yep.
You know, we're talking 18 something, and Tesla has he invented the first remote control device.
Wasn't Tesla's big thing the idea of how to transmit AC current,
wireless electricity, and
right?
they proved it. They did a test on the show. They proved it in Colorado. His death rate, they proved it. They built the Tesla tower, and they charged it. So we'll see if this works. So they're standing behind the tower, careful. So the guy's flying this drone with the camera, this $1,000 drone, whatever, and it gets absolutely fried by the Tesla bolt, whatever, this raby, just zap. You see this plume of smoke. And they did it twice. They said, well, we want to make sure in theory, they did it for fun. Who are you kidding? You know, they had the budget. Let's blow up another $1,000 drone or whatever.
I watched a really good documentary about him. I think it was like a PBS documentary that was on Netflix a while ago. It was really good, really intriguing stuff. Like you said, some of his things were 5 to 10 years out in the future, but a majority of it was way out there, way out there in the future.
No, I think the military is at least 50 years ahead of us, if not more.
I'm not surprised.
You know, it's I think what happened in Roswell in 47 was real. How can I did some research that said that flying saucer crashed in 47. That was the only base that was responsible for our nuclear weapons testing, if I recall. So they issued first a statement: we have a flying saucer. No, we made a mistake. How can you not tell the difference between a freaking foreign body like a flying saucer and a weather balloon? And you're in charge of our nuclear weapons? Come on, get real. That's what we say in New York. Get real. So. Unless they were all drunk, every single one of them. Yeah, by that theory, sure. But check out the Tesla files. I think it's on History Channel.
Yeah. And the funny thing was about my dad's new machine is it's got a 1 terabyte SSD.
Nice.
He upgraded the screen. He put in the 16 gigs of RAM, and so this is going to be his new work business laptop. And I tried to convince him to put Linux on it. He said, "No, Ben, I'm not going to do that."
He said, "Forget about it."
Yes, forget about it.
Yeah, he's getting already accustomed to Windows 10 from my machine.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm like, Dad, if you want that, go ahead, but don't come crying to me when you're feeling frustrated.
Anas says Linux people aren't afraid of expressing themselves no matter what is the topic. Almost any topic,
Yeah, good point.
Was Tesla one of the big Christian scientists? I don't.
He was from Serbia, I believe. I don't know his religious background.
Yeah.
All I know is he was light years ahead of his time.
And unfortunately, he essentially he died broke and destitute, didn't he?
Yeah, in the beginning he was somewhat famous, had money because he was a young man coming up with these ideas. He was financed by J.P. Morgan at
Yep.
the time, the rich banker. But once Tesla wanted to prove the idea of wireless electricity, which is available everywhere, they kind of pulled the plug on the project, as it were, because corporations don't want that. Didn't want that. But I don't know about his religious beliefs, or that does not. I'm not interested in it. I just saw the series, and brilliant, brilliant man, absolutely stunning.
He was the grandfather of radio, the real grandfather of radio as well, wasn't
It
he?
might be. Yeah, I don't know if they mentioned that or not. They may have. They may have.
There's something that I thought I had heard that he was. I think it may have been FM radio. In fact,
yeah.
He was.
Could be.
He was big on that.
Yeah, he was in the New Yorker hotel. Speaking of New Yorker, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he had 80 trunks of papers. 80 trunks of his papers. Can you imagine that? Talk about terabytes of information.
No kidding.
Wow.
See, look at that.
Tesla beat Marconi. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Ben's on Windows, and Ben is no longer with us. Nothing against Windows, guys. Nothing against Windows.
Windows works. When Windows is, I don't like the update process, but it works. Yeah. Carrier pigeons. Yeah, he believed in carrier pigeons, and they proved it on the show in New York. But yeah, check out the series. I think they did 5 shows so far. I don't binge watch, but I was binge watching Tesla. I was sucked into this. Yes, Tesla invented macaroni.
Macaroni. Yes. No, Toss actually invented macaroni, guys.
Hey, I like macaroni and cheese. Okay, it's got to be fresh Parmesan. None of this stuff in the stores. What's the matter with you?
I can't eat the stuff from the stores.
Okay.
Any type of cheese. This is really strange, but any type of cheese product, other than Kraft macaroni and cheese, any other type of cheese product that doesn't require refrigeration, thicker than a dog.
Okay. A lot of information here. He patented it first, but Marconi developed it. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yes. No, not delivering electricity by carrier pigeons. Be a lot of fried bird. Tesla invented radio, won court battle against Marconi. We are still taught Marconi invented. I don't know. I'm just going by what I see, what Tesla did for sure, and that's good enough. Yeah.
Tux 1313. He just highlighted kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, after Tesla had died, his patents were Marconi's patents were in.
Yep. But check out the show. It's like I said, I don't often binge watch, but fascinating stuff. And that other show, when they tested his death ray, they built a small model and they toasted those drones. That was so male bonding stuff. That was so cool.
Morning, good people. When was electricity first harnessed and used?
The very first time? I don't know.
It had to have been. I'm going to take a guess that used probably about 1875 to 1890.
Probably around Tesla time when he was born. Okay, Tim. Have a safe week. Yeah. That's my guess. That is my guess. Yeah. Can you imagine if Tesla had the full cooperation of the people with the money, just let him do what he wanted to do? Oh my God.
Could you imagine if Tesla was alive in today's day and age? With the technology we have right now.
Right.
How because when he was developing these things, he didn't have a machine like this sitting in front of him to do computations. He didn't have anything to be able to look at design ideas or anything. He was drawing with a pencil and a ruler.
Sure. Yeah.
It would be amazing to have a gentleman of his caliber alive today, which there may be some of them out there, but we seem to not hear about them very often.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't know exactly when electricity was first. I do know when the first caddy trunk was used, other than for luggage.
Not for hauling groceries, is what you're saying, Toss?
I guess you could say they were hauling someone's cannolis, but sort of.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right.
There goes the money on this
There
one
goes
too.
demonetize. YouTube, forget about it. The first electromechanical cell about 2,500 years ago. Okay. Well, there's a lot of stuff on ancient aliens that they think electricity may have been way back when. It's who knows. If I could travel back in time, the Egyptian pyramids harness, like there's a theory that they were power plants. The pyramids. I don't know about that, but and it was
people this. Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it could be they were power plants powered by KDE desktops, but I don't know.
Never know. Did Elon Musk sort of steal Tesla's thunder? Warning good people said, you know what? Here's my take on Elon Musk. I think he's a very smart guy. I think he is extremely talented at some of the things he does. I believe in his vision for electric automobiles.
Yeah.
Problem is that Elon Musk is not the smartest guy in the room, and he puts the smartest guys in the room with him. You got to remember, Tesla, he by and far, without any assistance from anybody, was doing the things that he was doing. So therefore, he was the only guy in the room, and he was also the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, that's
what I think differentiates Tesla from a lot of the Elon Musks or whoever you could come up with.
Yeah, well, I think they showed the couple spokespeople from Tesla and drove the first production Tesla car. They built it off of Tesla's blueprints or off his ideas, and I think that's wonderful to pay homage, the name of company, out of a guy from someone who died in 43. I think it's awesome.
It is.
Ancient nuclear pile in China. There's a lot of stuff out there that we can't quite understand, Maverick. These ancient sites, most of it can be explained, but it's that 10% or less that's really all you need to make you think what really happened. So, I'm going to wrap this up here in about 10 minutes to 10 o'clock. But again, I wanted to thank, I think it's Red Robo's Workshop, Rob, for being the first patron on the Toss Today Patreon community page. So thank you when you come across this. What can I say? It's historic. And we'll see how far with it we can take this community. Thank you for over 8 years of this channel. I never would have dreamed in a million years we'd be talking Linux, Tesla, pyramids, and food. Isn't that a great combination? That sounds like a sub. Take a Tesla sub. Anyway,
this thing always ends up on food.
It's like DT says mate and meatballs.
Mate.
And I'm running mate tonight, and we're talking. China has pyramids. Yes, they even found pyramids in Antarctica. Now, why would there be pyramids in Antarctica? I don't know. Would you say most of the people watching this show was new to Linux? Let's take a quick poll. Who here was new or is new to Linux, if that's okay? A quick poll. Just say yes or no. I'm going to say yes to a certain, maybe not a majority, but just a quick poll. Yes or no, new to Linux, or was new to Linux. Now you're not because you were watching this channel. We got one no. Okay. No. Okay. Don't make me look like an idiot now. No. I'm out of here, man. I love these Toss Roundtable discussions. Thank you.
6 years and still feel like a noob.
Okay, so we have 3 new yeses, 3 nos. All right, that's what I kind of figured. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured.
How many on the chat? How about another poll? Toss, you've been on since
10.
2010. On
2006 with Linux. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say how many people with 10 years or better on Linux or
Yeah.
possibly
Okay.
a BSD type of operating system?
Sure.
How many people do we have over 10 years?
So it's a mixture, yes or no. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I started Linux back in '06 out of using it out of curiosity. I was curious. And I started the channel in 2010 because it just, look, 10 years ago, there was no Toss Today. There was no Switch to Linux, Destination Linux. There was none of those decent channels today. So I learned it on my own. So I've taken the pain, you could say, I've sucked in the pain that a new user might take in to make that new user avoid the pain that I went through, learning it pretty much on my own.
So we've got Tux 1313 is over 10.
Okay.
RS is over 10. Terry Love over 10 years. King of Games, Mandrake in the late
Okay.
90s.
Okay.
Scott Langgood, not over
Okay.
10 years. Steve Anderson, not
Okay.
over 10 years.
Okay. Cool.
I was curious. Other people say I was strange. I've had that happen to me too.
You know, I don't think Windows users realize that there are, hi, Jonathan, that there are choices out there, maybe or maybe not to replace Windows. Here's the thing. No matter what kind of community, Linux community, technology community there is on YouTube, no matter how friendly it may be, no matter what podcasts or shows that you do, if you cannot be transparent upfront with that Windows user and say, for example, look, in my situation, I've been using Linux for 12 years. I cannot fully switch to Linux because gaming, even though I'm not really a gamer, but let's just say I was gaming. I cannot switch because of graphics drivers sometimes suck. Actually, a lot of times they suck. Let's be transparent up front. Be honest with, and maybe because I think we haven't been fully, or in the past, that market share for Linux is still about 2 and 3%, which is not that all that great, we'll be honest, But you need to be transparent up front and say, look, it may not work for you 90% of the time, but it may work for you 10% of the time or more. And that 10% of the time may make you the happiest technology user on earth.
Yep.
To transfer to Linux because pretty much no malware, not impossible. You don't have to reboot 6 times to upgrade your system. It's going to run faster. You have more choices. You can revive the old desktop or laptop. It can be done. But you need to be transparent up front. If you're not, they're not going to care if your show is famous or flashy production because you're not telling them the truth up front. Now, that takes some, as we say in Italian, faccia tost. You need to have a stone face or a hard face or big ones to take the beating from the Linux community that says, you don't know what you're talking. And I went through that for years. Fine. I'm a big boy. But in the end, I'm still standing because you need to be upfront. That doesn't mean I'm always right or whoever. You be upfront. Look, this is what happened to me. Like on my other desktop, Kden Live constantly freezes. I don't know if it's, it was an update or it could be my machine's going bad. Maybe the hard drive's going bad. I don't know. But it can happen. You need to be upfront. Then let that Linux newbie decide if Toss was telling the truth or not. Give them the information,
Yep.
And I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I feel 12 years later after using Linux. Be upfront. And don't be afraid to make an idiot out of yourself if you say something wrong. The point is to contribute to the common good of humanity. In this case, it's the common good of technology community,
Yep. The one thing with the Linux market share, if I just put it in perspective, you have essentially 2 companies promoting their own proprietary operating system, and then you have Linux as a whole. These huge companies, being Microsoft or Apple, they have a lot of money behind them. They have tons of money. They pay a lot of people a lot of money to do what
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is a community and essentially has done
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
full operating system.
Yeah.
And something that essentially, yeah, the Linux users may look at it as a science project in some
Yes.
way, shape, or form. The world, the world of technology may look at it from that perspective. It isn't all that bad for something that could be, say, a
Yes.
garage
Yeah.
project.
Right. Yeah. Hmm.
And for a guy like me who just wants to sit down and have my computer work and have a transparent operating system,
Yes. Hmm.
it works.
I mean, it would have been much light years easier for me back in 2006 if there was a DT tube, like a distro tube, or a destination Linux or a switch to Linux. It would have been much more, but there wasn't. Linux was not. I won't say it's mainstream. It's more mainstream now. But back in '06, it was like, hey, have you heard of Linux? That's
Yep.
just the reality, man. Now it's not that silly. But I was looking at market share; it's still between 2 and 3%, and that's not good. But we're trying. The
There is
sugar coating does more damage. Yes, than good. Yes, Mark. Hmm.
one of the things I saw. I can't remember where I saw it today, but the United States Department of Energy, I think,
Hmm.
created a new supercomputer, and this thing is, I mean,
Wow.
it's huge, but it runs Red Hat Enterprise Linux. When you get news stories out there that some people would look at, it's not a mainstream news article by any means,
Yeah.
but just simply things like that getting into people's minds. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, how many
Well,
people would like to have an operating system in front of you that is running the world's fastest computer? There's some clout with that. It's kind of like, yeah, I've got this operating system that it's running on the world's fastest
well,
computers.
right. Servers,
Yep.
Linux. The space station is on a form of Linux, but the thing is, I think Steve EB did a rant one time, and he says, all these different package managers, distros, screwing everything up. Just pick one and make it the best in the world. It makes sense, but I thought, yeah, that'll happen. Forget about it. But I think that's the problem. Now, I think companies like Dell have done pretty good. System 76, all things considered.
Mhm.
But the problem is they're not inexpensive computers. I'm sure they're fine quality, but if you put a Windows computer in a Walmart, $500, and you have a Linux machine for the same price or more, the customer's not going to buy Linux. I don't care if you're the prophet of Jesus saying, but Linux ain't going to buy it. Now, you put a Linux machine for like $100 less, they might take a chance because now you not incite them. You fish them in. Hey, it's cheaper, but it's better quality.
Yep.
Well, you could say approve it. Well, sir, buy this, and we'll give you a 30-day money back guarantee. Now you have something. But when the Linux machines are the same price or more,
It kind of hurts.
they're not gonna buy. I'm not saying they're no good. But the consumer, because they don't know, you know.
Even the
Uh,
Linux machines from Dell, I think their XPS line that has
yeah,
Ubuntu on it,
yeah,
those things are, I think
yeah,
those things are starting at somewhere in the like
yeah,
$900 to $1,000 range. And even when you look at that, if somebody wanted to
yeah,
do something different
yeah.
than Windows, you're at the same price point
And
of
that's,
buying the
you know
MacBook.
what? That's just, I'm probably going to get comments on, well, Tosh, you don't know what you're talking about because Linux is better. It's better for malware. It's better for your upgrade. Yeah. But the consumer's going to say, forget about it because they're going to look at their wallet and say, why should I buy that when Windows 10 works just fine?
Hmm.
In spite of, although I will say this with Windows 10, it is the most secure Windows out there. Not privacy, but in terms of anti-ransomware, malware, they've done a good job. They kind of botched it with the other stuff, but what are you going to, but that's just consumers. Switch check. I think I just sent you a link. I was going to jump off, but I'll stay a few more minutes.
Here's
I think I just sent it. Switch. Yeah.
that supercomputer I was just speaking of. It's the Department of Energy. They put $200 million into it, and just a rough idea of it, it's got 9,216 IBM CPUs. It's got 202,752 cores, and it's got 27,648 NVIDIA GPUs. It's got 10 petabytes of memory and 250 petabytes of storage.
Nice little toy.
Tom, remind me, how many gigabytes in a petabyte? 1,000 or 10,000?
Gigabytes in a petabyte? Isn't I thought it was a million.
That's above my math.
I thought it was a million, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I thought it because a megabyte goes to a gigabyte, goes to a terabyte, goes to a petabyte. Each one's a function of 1,000.
Function of 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Those of you in chat who want me to subscribe to your channel, show me what you got first. I think it's fair. Then we'll go from there. How does that sound? I think the most affordable Linux machine to learn on is a thrift, fine like a penny and before install Peppermint. Oh, in terms of learning, Maverick, absolutely. I'm talking in terms of a machine for the masses. Like I was saying, if you go into the Walmart and you have two machines, one is Windows 10 for $500, and then one is Linux for 500 or more, that thing is going to gather dust. It's unfair, it's unjust, but this is the reality.
I think the reason the Chromebooks took off so much is because they're cheap.
Price. Mm-hmm.
And Linux you can do. Yeah. I can set Peppermint up against any other OS.
Yes.
And it would work perfectly fine. And I run Peppermint on my writing computer, which I paid $100 for.
Yeah. No,
and it works better than Chromebook.
I've said for years, Google, the Chromebooks, Google has the resources to make a mass marketed truly Linux desktop at an affordable price. Now, maybe they're thinking about it, but they haven't done it. And that surprises me. Think about an Android desktop. I mean, there's like 1 billion Android phones out, phones out there. Automatic market. Boom. They haven't done it. I don't know.
I'm kind of surprised from the aspect is that with the resources Google has, taking the Chrome OS and possibly making some changes under the hood so it's more of a standalone OS, not a cloud-centric OS like Chrome OS is.
Yeah.
And putting something out from that aspect for all the people that have non-Chromebook machines. I'm surprised they haven't put any resource into that too.
Mark says there's next to no marketing for Linux. I've joked in the past, I would be the Linux spokesperson for almost for free. But the problem is I'm not going to put my voice or face out there if the product hasn't been proven, tested to work just as good out of the box as Windows or Mac. Because bad word spreads twice as fast as a good word. I don't know. Like I said, Dell's done a good job. System 76, but are they price compatible to Windows? Not really. They're kind of high priced. That doesn't mean they're no good. I'm sure they're fine machines, but it's a smaller niche market. And
that's that raises another issue is that all of the systems out there we can buy Linux on it are too expensive. Like
they really are.
I would really like to support System 76. But I don't have that much money to throw at a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked because when my computer died, I looked at System 76. I looked at I looked at all the different places. The best I could do, and I rebuilt this. This is a video production beast. Yeah. $800 is all I paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's $800 into that, Tom.
Yeah.
If you were to mimic what you built and get it as close as you can spec wise on say a System 76 type of a buy, how much money do you think you'd be looking at?
I don't know. Let me look at that. Let me get back to you in just a second. Let me go into System 76 and look into it.
And look, we're not harping trashing Dell or systems. They sell a lot. They've proven themselves. They're excellent.
Mhm.
I'm sure.
Awesome
And if
machines.
System wants to send me a machine to test, I'll be happy to, and I'll ship it back to you. I'll pay the shipping. How does that sound? To
Yeah,
give you
I
my,
agree. They're good.
I'm sure it's a good machine. Yeah.
They're awesome machines. Everybody I don't think I've watched any review on a System 76 machine or a YouTuber. I think Brian Lenduke has some
That's what he uses. So there's your proof. Yeah.
And they're everybody that anything I've ever seen, reviews are stellar, and the machines work, and they're great looking, they're functional, and the other thing is they're upgradable a lot easier than many of the other ones out there.
Yeah,
correct.
From a price point, I'd rather deal with the Windows 10, and I'll make it as secure as I can, and deal with the half a dozen updates during an update and the constant rebooting and all that. I'd rather deal with that.
Yep.
Okay, so it looks as though they're the one that's most comparable is the Wild Dog, and that might be the one Brian's using. That actually starts at 900 or so. I'm not going to go through and configure everything, but that has an i7. I'm running an AMD. This has an i7, so it has the same amount of cores. Their processor speed is a little bit higher than mine. Oh, actually, they have a lot more RAM. I have put 16 gigs of RAM. That's actually up to 64. But again, I didn't. Let me go through and see what the base spec is. What's the $900 machine?
Heather just asked me what computer I'm using right now. Heather, my main machine that I use when I'm on with TOS is an HP Pavilion 15-inch laptop. I bought it from Micro Center locally, and I think I paid $530 or $560 for it. But it's a nice laptop. It's got an aluminum top to the keyboard. It's got an aluminum lid on the screen. However, the bottom of the chassis is black plastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Speccing this out the way mine is 1,600.
Wow.
And also I'll note that I did not have to replace my graphics card. I did save the graphics card from the last build.
Okay.
So I think I paid maybe $200 for the graphics card. Not even that.
Okay.
Mark says with System 76, you're getting excellent customer service. I do believe in that. I do believe in that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, System 76 would have a good warranty. If my computer blows up tomorrow, I have to do it again. System 76 does have good warranty.
That's
they
true.
Have an excellent staff. There's a lot more for the price.
I'm not saying they're not worth it. I'm just saying for practicality for the mass market, the consumer's not going to be thinking that.
Yep.
But I give them credit. They've done good over 10 years. They've been in business, maybe more than 10 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Consumers are going to look at the bottom dollar, and that's
in the beginning.
The way it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Because it's new to them. Steve says you bought a bare bones. You went through a bare bones company in Ohio. $550. Oh yeah, you spend $550 on a system with Peppermint, you should be fine. Yeah.
And I bet you that there's screams.
Yeah.
Scott Langgood just asked, "What is Pop OS?" I actually have a fair amount of experience from a user perspective with Pop OS, Scott. Pop OS is essentially a respin of Ubuntu. Rather than using the Ubuntu styled GNOME-based desktop, Pop OS uses vanilla GNOME with their own take on what the GNOME desktop should be. It is 1710. The previous version to what they have now was an excellent OS. 1804 is a good OS, but I had some problems with it, and I don't think that was specific to the OS. I think some of that could have been machine specific.
Yes.
And also you have to take it with a grain of salt. As with any new release of Ubuntu, which Pop OS is based on, to really get the bugs worked out, you kind of wait for the 18.04.1. That point release tends to really be where a lot of the junk gets sorted. Some of the good stuff, some of the bad stuff, and they kind of get the cohesiveness together.
Sure.
The one neat thing about Pop! OS is that when you go through the installer, Pop! OS's installer is a little bit different as compared to, say, Mint or Ubuntu. With Pop! OS, you install the OS. Once you restart the computer, you actually set up the user account and the tasks associated with that. It's a very good operating system. It does full disk encryption very well.
Nice.
And it's put together really nice. A couple of little niggles on 1804 for me, but I'm gonna give it a shot here probably in another month or two.
Is there a reason why RAM is expensive nowadays? Apparently, I haven't checked. Is there a reason for that?
No idea, but it is. That's
okay.
I mean, that was the most expensive part of the computer.
Interesting.
Ryzen processor, no problem. Motherboard, cheap. RAM.
Sounds like they're trying to ram it down our throats.
Just for RAM.
Yeah.
The processor was 200. My board was 100. The power supply was, I don't know, 60 or so.
Okay.
And the RAM was like 400. And I only got 16 gigs.
Wow.
What kind of DDR4?
DDR4. Yeah, it's G-Skill brand.
Okay. Wow. Sometimes you can find a deal on a refurbished PC. If you shop long and hard enough on Amazon, just do a search on Amazon and look. If you know what you're looking for. Could it be tariffs that Trump is pushing on those from the G7? I don't think they're I thought that was another stuff, Maverick.
Yeah, I don't think the tariffs.
Yeah, I don't think it's on that. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Well, some of the tariffs could affect some of the materials.
Possibly.
Go into the creation of a number of computer components.
Although it is strange timing when you think about it. But
kind of is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't feel like we're making this great again. But anyway. Will Linux ever have a way to do a live stream like this without YouTube? Linux can live stream on any, platform with Beast. It's capable of it.
It just depends on what how your server setup is. You can build a server to do live streaming. It's a pain in the petunias. So you just use YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
Scott Langgood said aluminum. One of the things that with the actual RAM, the chips themselves, the process that goes into creating the substrate, the wafer that the chips go on, there's a lot of different things that are entailed with that process of creating a chip. And there are a lot of precious metals that are also a part of those manufacturing processes. Platinum, is one of them. I think there's some titanium now in some of the new chips.
Yeah. Trump put 10% tariffs on steel, 20%. Yeah, I thought I read something like, I don't think Canada is too happy.
Really impacting a lot of your Chinese imports. Really.
Yeah.
The tariffs are.
Yeah. I don't think it's good in the long run or in the short, but maybe something may come out of this. I don't know. It's never been done before, so this is uncharted territory. So
no, the tariffs it's a restoration of an old thing because really it was NAFTA what caused our economy to all ship in the United States economy to all ship overseas.
Yeah.
And what he's trying to do is he's trying to reverse some of that. I'm not sure it's
I'm not
quite the right way.
I think members of his own party are saying, "What are you doing?" But honestly, I don't know. I don't follow it that much. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Give it time, but it's hard to tell. But
As with anything in government, you have to give it some time to see where the benefits are and the downsides.
My dad called today from Italy. We had a nice little chat. But back in March, Italy had an election. 19 parties. 19. We can't fix potholes here with 2 parties. They got talk about a lot of freaking meatballs, Anyway. Aluminum comes from bauxite. Okay. There was actually, I read an article on nuclear reactors that are safer. I think they're based on thorium. If I'm not mistaken, that might be a good topic one night. Something different type of technology. Fascinating stuff. But the government stopped it because with thorium you were unable to build good quality nuclear weapons to like blow ourselves up. How's that for an explanation? You know.
How about worrying about lighting our cities and lighting people's homes affordably with a resource that is bountiful.
Sure.
Instead of worrying about it.
Right. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. No, I know.
My opinion, of course.
I mean, think how much good Linux has done over the years. Android phones, you know, being able to take an old PC and revive it, you know, it just makes sense. So, yeah, Illumina came from Alcoa. Well, they market it.
Yep.
All right, let's make this almost the last call for comments. Another 5 minutes or so, we'll wrap it up. Hello, Omega Beast. How are you? So, again, I wanted to give that person did not jump in the chat this evening, but the main purpose of this stream, besides chatting with you guys, I want to give a shout out to, I think his name is Rob, Red Robo's Workshop. He is the first patron on the Total OS Today Patreon page. Toss Today on Patreon is the very first, and I will not forget it. I don't know how far that will go, but Rob, thank you. You're literally number one. So.
Nice. So you brought it back.
I had requests. I was
holding
it off, and they said, it's fine, Toss, just don't make it a paywall, and we're good, and we're cool. So I wouldn't be here without the community after 8 years. I'm like, okay. Check it out. All the links below in the show notes. If it doesn't make sense what I put, don't be shy. Tell me, and all that's subject to change. As I stated, I kind of like distro tubes, DTs thing, make it like a Godfather theme. Like the $2 level is, you know, Fredo, $5 is Michael, $20 is Sonny Corleone, and the $100 level, whatever, that would be the Godfather. I came close to changing, but let's keep it family friendly. But DT for making me laugh.
And like I said, if a payment gets returned, you wake up with a horse's head in your back.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Or if a patron leaves, you get a penguin head in your bed.
Yes. Or knock at the door from a big stranger, from Luca Brazzi.
Knock at the door, and a guy.
We want to let you know. We want to let you know, Tim, the family is not too happy.
We got the caddy out here. Let's go for a ride.
For those interested, there is a new recipe up on Home Cooking Hacks.
Nice.
Just put
back
it up
to
now.
Food again.
Homemade tomato sauce right there.
Hey.
Wow. Right back to food.
Linux Smith Mate and homemade tomato sauce.
Yeah. It's been 6 weeks since I put up a recipe, so I'm like, I got to do it, you know.
Steve Anderson said if it was not for Unix, we would not have Linux. In hindsight,
historically speaking, probably so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I still think Linux would have maybe
somehow
would have
managed.
It would have come to fruition of one way or another. Mm-hmm. But yeah, from a historical standpoint and perspective, that's correct.
I agree. Totally. I may do a poll. I was thinking about doing a poll. Why have you not fully switched to Linux from Windows? And you have to be honest, not, be clean, but be honest. And don't just say, well, because Linux sucks. You have to detail. It's been a while since I've done a poll like that. But here we are, 2018. I think
for
I
me,
like that. Yeah.
Very simply, my Windows 7 computer hasn't died yet.
Okay, fair enough. That is a detailed answer.
I don't own a Windows. I own a machine that had Windows on it, but I do not run Windows. I do not have Windows on any machine whatsoever in my home.
Nice. Yeah, if it wasn't for multimedia, I could probably stick with Linux. But just the other day, I needed to send a picture of my son to my dad in Italy, and the scanner app didn't work in Linux. So you know what? I didn't feel like solving a puzzle. I booted into Windows, scanned the picture, sent it, done. But it's usually multimedia where Linux tends to struggle still, usually. So,
In fact, the machine that I am on, when I bought it, it came out of the box.
Yeah.
And what did I install? I think I installed Linux Mint on it. I turned it on with a USB stick into it and G-parted, formatted the hard drive, and went straight to Linux. I did not even boot into Windows 10.
Nice. Let me see. I'm actually running Mint 19 now. Let's see how much resources it's using real quick, just out of curiosity with all this. All right. So 2.2 gigs of memory, CPU usage anywhere between 60 across the board. Quad core. Nice. This isn't bad at all.
I haven't looked on this. Where in the heck? Where the heck?
You guys worry all about backdoors on Linux. I do not worry about Saint Raphael. What do you guys think? Backdoors on Linux?
I think generally no. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Backdoor rootkits, whatever.
It may depend on the operating system. I mean, if there was,
it's possible, but yeah. The beauty about Linux, the community is so vast and so vocal. Good or bad, if something doesn't seem right, someone's going to post it on the web. It'll spread like a wildfire.
And that's what happened with Deepin, and that it was just an ad tracker in the
App Center.
Store. Yeah.
Would be Suez Apollonia in the Godfather movie? You think I don't know? My dad was in The Godfather. You're asking me, or you're asking my friends here? Apollonia from Italy. I know who she was.
Toss, you said you were using roughly 60% on how many cores?
4.
4 core?
Yeah.
I've got 18.3, and this is comparison. I've got an 8-core i5.
Oh, 8 core, okay.
I'm about 32%.
Okay.
And I'm using
nice.
I've got Vivaldi open and the system monitor. That's it. And I'm using 2.5 gig out of my 8 gigs.
Was she hot? Would be asked about Apollonia. Yes, in the summertime in Sicily, it's very hot. So she was very hot. Yeah.
Who is Apollonia in The Godfather?
She married Michael when he went back to Italy to escape. He was married for a brief time.
Yes,
then she got in the car.
Unfortunately, met her end.
Yeah, met her end. Yeah, right. But that was Apollonia. Yeah. Then he came back to get back with Kay. But sure, I remember Apollonia. Beautiful name, Apollonia. Anyway, Steve Gunn, good evening. Yeah, we're just about to wrap this up, Steve. Sorry, but you can, of course, watch this later. Simonetta Stefanelli. Tux13 says Simonetta. That was a character in The Godfather? I don't remember. What's up, Omar? Gee, you guys are joining late. I'm just about ready to wrap this up. Routers and switchers. Yeah. Yep.
Marky X says Deepin is one of the very few distros on my blacklist.
Yeah, well, I don't use it for other reasons, but
yeah, routers and switches is part of your security. Yeah, I use my router's pfSense. So yeah, I don't even run firewalls on my computers except the laptops because they leave the network because pfSense is pretty beefy.
Okay. Omar, you can replay this stream back. A lot of good topics for this open chat as usual, but I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. But thank you for stopping by. Sorry.
Plus a little bit of the usual horsing around.
Of course. Of course.
Can't be too serious in life.
Yeah. I don't really have any. I don't think I have any extra. That's on my other PC of those church bloopers. I got some in my head, but yeah, I'll have to.
One thing you got to remember about this thing called life: nobody gets out of it alive.
Let's see. Used to use Sophos antivirus. Sophos is good. It's good for Mac. I guess that's for Linux too, right? Yeah, Sophos is good from what I read.
How often do I update the host file? Probably not nearly enough. My phone currently is running the most recent version of my host file. I have a more recent version of it. I have not deployed it either system-wide on my system or put it on my website yet. But maybe I need to do that soon. The problem is I have not yet replaced the icy dock on my computer, so switching to my backup computer is annoying, to say the least. I have to tear the case off and swap cables around. But it's the most recent up-to-date one, which actually contains like 25 or 30 crypto coin miner blocks and numerous other new ad systems. It's sitting on my backup computer. It's not deployed. Okay. It's on my phone now because I needed to do the backup computer for the phone.
All right, just a reminder, this weekend, no live show, I don't think. We have a couple of us. Someone's got the speaker on. I can hear feedback. Okay. Yeah, this week we have the Greek festival here in town, the D. Martin Festival going on through the weekend. So if I do anything, it'll be late night Saturday, maybe like midnight, which may be better for some of you guys.
I'm up. Yeah.
Might be. That depends if I'll be worn out or not. I don't know. But I don't think I'll be on Friday night at 10. Maybe midnight Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I don't want to promise you then not show up. So play it by ear. But I'll be out and about. So unless we got pouring thunderstorms, I might be stuck in the house. But and I'll miss out on all that Italian/Greek food.
Don't forget to get yourself a gyro.
Oh, they're so good. Oh,
I have to learn to make gyros.
When they just cut it off, that rotating thing, it just melts in your mouth. Oh my God. They put that special sour cream sauce, whatever. Oh my God.
We're all going to be digging in the ice box as soon as this stream's
I know, man. Jeez. I actually I went to Kroger's tonight too. That's the problem.
Also, he's got choice.
I made some vanilla ice cream the other day.
Oh God.
And chocolate ice cream.
No, one night we should just talk about food. You know, we should just talk about mate and meatball, mate and food or whatever.
Mate and meatballs. We'll all bring a snack.
Yeah, we'll have to bring a snack to get the people get in the mood.
Although people hate it when you eat on a live stream, it's funny.
Yeah, mate. It's great.
Well, I did the one tinfoil hat time themed because it was when the computer died, so I was on the laptop, and so I put the laptop and I put the green screen. But my couch was in the green screen, so I gave myself the dilapidated house. And so I was like, "Hey, I'm on a couch on a live stream, so I got to eat some stuff." So I made homemade.
We did do a live for Linux once. You were eating chicken stick strips or something.
There was I think that was buffalo chicken sandwich.
Yeah, you were eating, which is fine. I don't care, but. Steve says your game, you can cook. Good. Make your favorite recipes and send it to me. I will happy to test the food for you. Make sure.
Hey, there you go. Yeah.
You're just going for all the freebies. Get System 76 to send me a machine.
Yeah, send me a computer, send me some food.
Everybody cook up a hot dish and send it over to us. Yeah.
I should have had a special membership thing on Patreon. In lieu of cash, send food or something.
There you go.
All right. Twitch has channels devoted to people eating. That doesn't sound too healthy, but why not?
There was actually a fascinating study on one of them. Very popular lady, millions of subs. That's all she does is eats. And then there was a special event where she went to a restaurant and people could come in and nobody would talk to her. They were just literally watching her in the same restaurant, watching the live stream on their phone. It was insane.
And Arita, you send me your Portuguese recipes. You might as well send them to Switch. He might do something. I'm not going to cook. Are you crazy? He's the cook. Forget about it. Unless it's something I can pop in the microwave, it ain't going to happen. But thank you.
Actually, I worked on making. I think it was like Hot Pockets. It's something.
Those are okay. They're like $2 or so.
Because basically I made sort of like a pizza wrap. I used the wrap shell and put it in all the pizza stuff and then freeze them down, roll them into little burritos and froze them down. So they're like pizza burritos.
Omar says, Suda, make me a sandwich. I like that command. That's a Windows friendly command. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, enough food here. All right. Everybody in the live chat, thank you for joining me for this Monday evening. Again, I want to give a shout out to the first patron on my Patreon page, Red Robo's Workshop. I hope I got that right. Rob, thank you. You're the one. All right, check out the links in the show notes. Check out Switch Your Links if you have not. Most of you probably have, but check out his channel. Good stuff.
Also, check out Home Cooking Hacks. I just put up homemade tomato sauce, pasta, pizza, sloppy joes. All that's makeable with that. Good stuff.
Well, I do have some cinnamon crackers. I can leave this. All right. Bye-bye.
I'll have some water.